we'll go ahead and get started. The reason we're here today is we've got two more of our Warriors, and we've kind of been through this process over the last couple of months, but they've made their decision, so we've got a great opportunity here in front of us with these two gentlemen. And Damien was a freshman when I got here, and then CJ's been with us for 1 year, and I'm going to talk about each one of them here individually. But big thing, football guys sit here. As a program, we've come a long way. This will make 9 players that we've put to the next level since we've been here, 3 years. So we're very excited about this. We're excited, anytime that the program does its job, the players do their job as far as academics and playing. And as a program, we're very satisfied that we're winning football games, we're in the playoffs, we're competing for championships, and then the next thing is for a purpose, and that purpose is to be able to provide an education at the next level, provide the opportunities for these guys to go get a quality education at their universities and still play ball. And so this is just like winning a championship for me, and I'm very excited for both of them. And so with that being said, I'd like to talk about each one of these guys individually. So I'll start with Damien. So Damien, when I got here as a freshman, he was in basketball, and so I did not actually get to meet him until my parent meeting. And I think it was you and Nikki at the parent meeting. And I remember from the very first, I give my presentation on this is me, this is Coach Kelly, this is what we're going to try to do this program, blah, blah, blah. And then I remember meeting Damien after the meeting, and me not knowing that he was a freshman, I was like, man, that's a good-looking kid, thinking he's a junior or senior. And the fact that he was a freshman really was exciting for me, because it's like, man, this kid has a lot of potential just because he already had the size, And at the time, going into my first year, to speak on the dynamic player he played tight end, linebacker, defensive end, and then when we went heavy, I believe, you started being the go-to guy when we went to heavy package, just direct snapping, running back, and stuff like that. And so transition to his junior and senior year. West Alabama is getting one of the most dynamic players I've had. Damien has a great running ability. He runs physical. He's a big, strong kid, one of the strongest kids I've ever had in the weight room. But and this is what I was telling Coach Harris at West Alabama, we could line him up a receiver and let him run routes and catch it. And as a player, and CJ the same when I get to CJ, not making yourself one-dimensional and just making yourself be more dynamic makes you extremely more marketable for colleges coming in. And so that's been Damien since the get-go. He's been extremely unselfish on what we've asked him to do, what we've needed to do. He's done a lot for the team. Just to go over some of the accolades, All-County every year I've been here. As a junior, All-State, All-Region, All-County, County Offensive Player of the Year, I believe, as a junior. And then same thing as a senior, All-County, All-Region, All-State as a senior. So you're talking about 2 years back-to-back with everything going, rushed for almost 3,000 yards, really just being 2 years in a running back system. And that's a lot of other guys toting the ball, touching the ball, catching the ball. Defensively, he was just as dynamic in what he did. And, so having said all that, when we got down to it, there was a lot of schools, West Al, Reinhardt, Birmingham Southern. There was a few more, but I think the top ones were right there. So I'm going to ask you and put you on the spot a little bit and let you talk. So, and I know, me and you know, that it's kind of been West Alabama above the rest. But what set West Al apart?
Really, just the way they treated me, because they've been recruiting me over a year. Since like the senior trip last year when I was at the beach, they called me and talked to me and stuff. Just going over things, told me how it's going to be, just make me feel at home. So I like them.
Gotcha. And then last thing I'll ask you. So your teammates are there, okay? A lot of them will want to be here next year, 2 years, 3 years. What advice would you give them to put them in this chair? What advice you got for them?
Definitely don't take anything for granted, and don't think like you ain't got to put the work in to be good, because you don't ever want to graduate with grade not putting the work in.
All right, so now we're going to go to CJ. So CJ came to us about February last year.
Yeah.
And I remember going into the counselor's office, and I walked in, and usually the first time I meet guys that Miss Bartlett, where's Miss Bartlett? So Miss Bartlett will call me when somebody's in the counselor's office is enrolling. And so I walk in there and I'll meet them, and usually like I'm bigger than the person that's coming in there. And so CJ stands up and he's like an inch taller than me, and I'm like, okay. So, immediately the thing I love about CJ from day one is he's one of the most coachable kids that I've had, and we could ask him to do anything. The weight room was new for him. I think it took us probably like 2 months still of just like going in there, and I could tell every single day, like he left nothing. He was so sore. He was like, you were dead.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was having so much fun. And really, from a football standpoint, because we didn't have spring, we didn't necessarily know what all you could do because we hadn't done anything. And so I think it was Plainview. We go up there and we're going against Plainview. And CJ had done a little bit of quarterback, done a little bit of receiver, done a little bit of DB, done a little bit of everything. And so he gets out there at receiver, and literally nobody could guard him. Nobody. And I had seen it, maybe, I think some of y'all had seen it, but I hadn't seen it yet. And he runs a go route, and it's like, oh my Lord. So we knew that CJ was dynamic. He was an athlete. They could do a lot of things with the ball. And so, having said that, we get to the season, and, CJ, I talked about Damien being dynamic. CJ is one of those guys that literally could do a lot. Anything and everything. He could guard them man-to-man. He could play them in zone. He could come up and tackle. There's a running back for Trine that is signed. He's playing at Kennesaw State. CJ's like third rep on defense. He knocks him out. And I talked to the coach the other week. It's the hardest that kid's ever been hit. And you delivered it, And so, like, the things that set me apart, CJ is the first player that I've had been blessed to coach since I've been here. It's been a first team All-State. First team. First team selected by the sports writers. 30 tackles, 8 interceptions. Led the state in 4A. Had return ability. Could throw the ball. 500 yards rushing. And so very, very, very dynamic player. And Shorter saw that. So the head coach of Shorter is a teammate of mine. And I put a lot of stuff out there, in the recruiting trail, being like, look, you need to take a look at this kid. I'm telling you, you could put him in a bunch of different places. But I said, look, I seen him your huddle. This is a true story. I seen him your huddle. And I said, just watch it. And if you're not interested, that's fine. So he watched your huddle, and like 5 minutes later, he said, Coach, we want it. And so from that point on, it's kind of been the decision. So same thing, I'm going to ask you, same thing I did, Damien. So it was Birmingham Southern, it was Faulkner, It was shorter. That was kind of your top three right there. So what was it about shorter that set the other ones apart for you?
So about shorter, I say what set it apart was I felt like I could just go in there and take over for real. Like, really, like, go in there and hit the biggest person and then just set it off. And really, that's really about it.
Short and sweet. So I'm gonna give you a chance. So listen, I know you've only been here a year, but you have respect of everybody in here. All right, you're a warrior. So tell your teammates, all right, what do they need to do? What's the biggest thing that they need to do that you could give them advice to lead them in this direction?
Take your coaching serious, respect your coaches, don't get in trouble, and you gotta focus in the classroom. Y'all focus in the classroom. Back there, talking to y'all back there, little freshmen, and just work hard in the weight room and stuff. Y'all know what to do. Basically what I did.
All right, so now I'm gonna let both of y'all go ahead and sign. We will leave this set up. I'd like to get the football guys to come in here and get a picture with all the guys in the background and then family. Y'all feel free to come in here and get as many photos as y'all want to. Thank y'all for coming, and it's a great day to be a Warrior.